Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video. And in this one, it's just going to be a little bit more personal. I just wanted to have a one-on-one talk with you because I know that this is an ongoing problem and really an increasingly large problem to be having. And it's the one of not being able to have a team, or more importantly, not being able to make friends. Obviously, in the world of solo queue now, with a lot of games, you're not necessarily forced to interact with someone for any long period of time, and for the large majority, you can treat people as if they're disposable because you'll never have to interact with them again due to these types of services. Now, in World of Warcraft, there is no solo queue. We have a system called the looking for group, which I'm sure a lot of you, and even my own personal experience, has not been the best in terms of seeking out friendship, seeking out teams, seeking out goal-oriented people. In a large amount of cases, I would say that the looking for group culture, you've basically got two subsets that the majority of people use the looking for group system for. You've got one group that is kind of YOLO, and what I mean by that is they just want to get their points. They don't care if they lose or they win. They just want to jump in right away, almost solo queue-ish, with no sort of meaningful progression, just get in there, get out quick, and get your cap. And that can be beneficial when you are working on your own individual capabilities, which is very important. You want to be bringing the highest level of individual capability that you can to a team, because that's going to increase the whole success of the unit. So using those YOLO groups as a starting point is definitely fantastic, but it's not going to be fulfilling in the long term, which I think a lot of us are experiencing when we log on and have no one to play the game with. But moving into the second subset of people that I think use the looking for group system is people who are looking for people who are significantly better than them to, simply put, carry them to a certain goal point. They're not really interested in being a friend or having a team. They just want the number. They just want the status, right? Now, this is also not beneficial in order to have that experience of making friends, having a team, and going for goals and being consistent. That isn't going to be the case. Neither of those two subsets are going to get you there. They're both going to be very hollow if that's all you have to experience in the game. Which is why my recommendation to you when you are seeking friendship, is when you are seeking teammates for long term, is that you have a better strategy and you use better options in terms of looking for them, because the looking for group system, in my opinion, does not... People don't see it that way in terms of the culture of it. I'm going to be writing up down below in the description sort of a template application form to a team that I would like you to try out using, more importantly, on the World of Warcraft forums. Because innately, if someone's going to the forums, they're already a little bit more dedicated than the YOLO player that's just trying to log in and cap, and they may be more interested in making friends because of that extra step that they have to take. It's not so accessible. So definitely check out down in the description to find that sort of application form. And I really do think the forums are a better place to seek long-term friendship and to seek long-term goal-oriented team play. And these three things are the most important when you're really going for that. Number one is the schedule. You have to play with the same people, and I would recommend the same composition, the same specializations. Don't try jumping around too much, because whenever you're working towards something, if you start spreading your attention way too far and way too thin, you may end up not learning a bunch of stuff. That's obviously going to depend on the individual's capabilities, but in general, I would recommend that you play with the same people, the same composition, the same specializations, and really dive deep into it, the underbelly of it, and figure out how to win your matchups on those classes and how those classes truly interact with each other. But scheduling is the most important. If you can't log in at the same time as everybody on the team, how on earth are you going to play? So you need to make sure that you are very clear with your schedule, and you don't need to play a lot to get very far. Maybe a couple hours every week, maybe 2 hours on a Tuesday or 3 hours on a Thursday or something like that, but it's consistency. So maybe 3 days a week, 3 hours a day, you're going to be amazed how far you can actually go if you play with the same people, the same composition, the same specializations, even for just 3 hours, 3 days a week. Your progression is going to be so much more, and playing with the same people is going to be a lot more fulfilling because you're going to build bonds. It's important that you have friends, right? Because my best experiences in WoW have been truly dedicated to one team for an entire season. Now, obviously, you're not forced to do that anymore with the way that you have personal rating, which solves some other social problems that happened in the past, but now creates a whole set of new ones, which means it's more so on your own personal responsibility to make sure that you can play with the same people. So number one is a schedule. Figure out what your work is, figure out what your school is, your classes is, any other responsibilities. Plan out some time during the day that you can play, and then obviously in the form that I'm going to be providing to you, it will be laid out. So you just lay out when you're available. It's very important to do that. The next thing is that you have a goal. You want to make sure that you have a personal goal and that the other people who you are inviting to the team have the same goal. If not, people may quit too early, people may not want to go all of the way, and you don't want to be too grandiose in your goal. I mean, you want to set the bar high, but not be disappointed when you don't meet that expectation as soon as you're expecting, because it's not going to be an instant thing. It's not going to happen right away. But if you stay with a consistent goal, consistent schedule, consistent team, it's definitely possible. You just need to be consistent. So make sure that you've got the same goals in mind and try to really celebrate the small victories when you make it up there. If you're a new team, you've never played before, you're getting to 1500, that's a celebration point. Don't let all the little elitists that are all at 3400 try and make you feel bad. Everyone has to start somewhere, and everybody is going somewhere, and that's the entire progress of life. That's where you're going to find the most fulfillment. That's where you're going to find the most meaning just from your total life, is when you're going through that type of progress, and going along with a team is going to be even that much more desirable, which is why I would suggest this method. If you're not able to find friends, if you're not able to find a team, and you're just feeling generally hollow when you log into the game, I think it's because you are lacking these things, and I'm really just trying to provide to you a way of finding them and then being able to achieve them, because some of the best moments in my life and some of the best moments that I've had have been playing with my friends as a consistent team going towards a goal. And I would recommend that not only just for player versus player, but also for dungeons, for raids, for anything in life. If you want to go and do whatever goal it is that you want to set out to do, these things are going to allow you to do it. You need a schedule, you need a goal, and you have to be consistent. And most importantly, when you're coming in and you're trying to find a team, is that you need to try and be the best version of you. Obviously, you want to be able to be critical in terms of your play, but always try and look inward in terms of being able to progress your own skills, because when you bring those skills to the table, you're going to step up everybody else on your team, and then everybody gets to succeed. So definitely check out the application form that I will have in the description down below, and I definitely and highly suggest that you try using the forums as a method for finding your partners, and just be honest. Number one, first and foremost, is to just be honest with what your schedule is, what your goals are, and what you want to get done. Anyway, I hope that this talk was of some help to you, and I hope that you guys can find your friends, find your teams, and really start getting towards those goals, because there's really no better feeling that you're going to be able to find in WoW and in life, in my opinion, than this. So I wish you the best in terms of your success. This is Supatease. Thank you for tuning in. Please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video.